YOLO.
Welcome to the main Slate Mashup, hosted by Season Long DFS. I'm Jamie, as per usual, and again, I'm joined by Rich, who is scratching his head, and Liam with a lovely new haircut. How are you both doing?
Yeah, not too bad. It's about time I got a haircut, and season's flying by, isn't it? Week 15, but yeah.
Your hair was looking a bit of a state, mate. I
It was,
didn't want to say anything, but at least you've got some, let's put it that way. How you doing, Rich?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Not too bad. We're up to Christmas now, isn't it? So, making up. Yeah. I mean, you seem like you would love Christmas. But yeah. It's an interesting time, isn't it? Because now we start moving into some Saturday games, which is pretty beaut if you're in the UK, right?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Isn't there one on this Saturday?
There's 2 on this Saturday.
Is there? See how much attention I've been paying.
I'm sure you know which two games they are, Jamie.
Yeah, totally know. Yep, totally. Yeah, we had a little bit of a mix-up here. I set our little heads-up competition and didn't look what slate I did it on, and it seems that I did it on the Thursday all the way through to Tuesday or whenever it was. So I did every single game, and then you boys come and turn up, and we all start having a chat, and you're like, yeah, they're not playing. You do realise you've done the wrong slate, so I've had to scribble out half of my bloody notes, basically. So that's a fantastic start. Yeah,
it's gone well for you.
Yeah, it's hence why we're running a little bit late. Let's stop talking about me fucking up, because no one wants to hear about that. It doesn't happen very often. Let's get on to the week 15 main slate. Rich, start us with some high price QBs you like. That's a pained face.
I don't want to say it, but I feel like I want to say Lamar Jackson.
I think that's a bit of a shitty take, really.
Well, it's just I don't feel great about it, but I feel like the matchup's good, and he needs something to get him bursting off the sea. I mean, I know it was a pretty spectacular kind of almost movie-esque, wasn't it? Return to the field, he goes off with cramps or whatever, team's down, comes back on, throws a touchdown. But I don't really want to. I don't want it, but I do at the same time.
He is going to be without 2 of his wide receivers as well, who are now on the COVID list.
Yeah, I mean,
but that doesn't matter.
I mean, does he throw to his receivers?
Well, the winning touchdown was to a receiver.
Okay.
Just saying.
Yeah, he's also playing Jacksonville this week, who are not good, to say the least.
Yeah, really? I mean, saying not
we're
good
usually
is
very, very generous and saying how good they are, aren't we, on this?
Not this week.
I mean, they're pretty good at catching kickoffs at this point of the season, I would say.
And fielding bad quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, if your choices are Mike Glenn or Gardner Minshew, it's gone brilliantly for you.
Yeah, if you're a JV team.
Yeah.
So, Lamar Jackson is 7,500, playing Jacksonville at home, coming off a 37-point game. The price isn't too bad, is it? 7,500. Especially if he runs again for another 100 yards and a couple of touchdowns, you're loving it.
That's the thing. You need him to be doing the running, because I don't think his pass and work isn't really going to win you the week, is it? So.
Well, the last 2 weeks he's had 17 attempts, both weeks, which is not what we're looking for. No. Liam, who are you liking?
Mine's Lamar Jackson as well. It's just purely off his facing the 30 overall rush defense in Jacksonville, and as Rich kind of said, rushes the ball a lot. Whilst Kyler Murray's dealing with his injuries and things like that, Lamar Jackson's kind of taken over his role in terms of the rushing production, and I think he'll have complete control of this game, and he can do what he wants to this Jacksonville defense, quite frankly, and like him a lot this week.
I've got someone who you mentioned, Liam, Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I like him as well.
7,000 playing at home against the Eagles. The Eagles, at this present time, are going to be missing the 3 best defensive backs. Slate went off injured, who is by far the best one they've got as well. Last week against the Giants, we all definitely I was thinking the Giants defense would be a nice play last week. And what was he, 244 and a touchdown and 47 yards rushing. It's not what we kind of saw at the start of the year with Kyler, where it was the 30 or the potential 40-point game. But with the Eagles secondary potentially even more depleted, I think it's a nice spot for him, and it's at home in a dome, so I think that's quite nice. You boys got anybody else?
Not QB wise, no.
Can I just mention? Which?
Tannehill. I don't know where we're drawing the line, but 6,700 going against Detroit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's matchup based. And with that one, it carries a little bit more risk because I kind of project this game to be Derrick Henry maybe setting some NFL records. I don't see what they need to do. Like Tennessee, if they catch the ball, just take the hit from the 25 and then just give it to Derrick Henry. I'm watching bust a 75-yard touchdown run. I feel like it's going to be that kind of game. But if Tannehill is given the ball, then this offense is pretty efficient, and he has shown his ability to move the ball through the air as well. So
I've got one a little bit cheaper than Tannehill. I kind of put it anywhere above the 6,000 mark. I think it's a pretty obvious one for me. It's Jared Goff. It's the Jets. I think Goff.
It's also Jared Goff.
Yeah, I think he'll be able
as a counterpoint.
I think he'll be able to do whatever he wants. I don't think they're gonna. You'll see Cam Akers getting 29 attempts again this week. The Jets are okay defensively against the rush. They're not brilliant, but they're nowhere near as bad as they are against the pass. I think him, Woods, Cup, Reynolds, the 2 tight ends could have a really nice game this week. The Jets want to lose. They need to lose. They need that number 1 pick, don't they?
I mean, they nearly went and buggered it up the other week, didn't they?
I know. And then Greg Williams took one for the team
against the Raiders, and then they were like, "Oh, no, let's not do this. Let's blow it.
Let's leave it. So yeah, he was mine. My other one, I didn't mind Jared Goff for 63. Running backs, Rich. Start us with the running back.
Well, we said before recording, I said, have we all got the same one? And I think you two both said, yeah, but don't really want to talk about him too much. But to me, you need to.
Let you talk about him. Let's all talk about him.
Derrick Henry, Mr. December, Mr. King of the world.
Yeah.
I feel like this game is just going to go ham. I mean, you're talking that this is one of the best running backs in terms of, just being absolute bruiser going up against one of the worst run defenses in the league.
Yeah.
They say fantasy football is hard. To me, it doesn't seem difficult here when you consider the Detroit Lions are averaging just over 4.5 yards per carry given up on defense.
Is that bad?
That is not ideal. You're talking two rushes and you've nearly got a first down, and that's it average across the whole season. They've not come against someone like Derrick Henry who's just going to absolutely punish them. I mean,
he needs 459 yards or 456 yards to get to 2,000 over the next 3 games. I fully expect.
I feel like a lot of that is going to come here.
I feel like the Titans are going to literally feed him the ball. They want him to get 2,000 yards.
He is Mr. December. I mean, the only game where he's kind of struggled recently. In fact, the only game where he's not since week 8. In fact, let's go. So he's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games where he's not had more than 100 yards this season.
It's pretty good.
I think it's the touchdowns you need in this one, though. I think he can go for so many yards, but the touchdowns ultimately get him his value.
Yeah.
And it's whether you think he's hit those touchdowns or not. And that's why I struggle with Henry this week. I don't know why. Just for his pricey, this seems a bit.
I reckon he gets a minimum of 2.
Really?
Minimum. One of them being like a 50-yard rush. Something silly.
With 8 defenders hanging off of
the only thing I believe that is going to stop Derrick Henry is an injury.
Or being up like so much they may potentially pull him.
I generally think that they will, and you will see a minimum of 150 yards because they'll want to get him 2,000 yards. They really will. I really think that. How many times does a running back get the opportunity to hit 2,000 yards? I think.
Yeah, not very often.
No, I think they're gonna. I reckon even if they're 28-0 up, and he's got 120 yards, they'll give him at least another 40, 50 yards and try and get him in the end zone. I think it's a pretty safe floor of 25 points.
All right. Sweet.
So, yeah. Liam, who have you got?
Jonathan Taylor, 7,200. 3 weeks straight now, he's been the main back for Indianapolis. 26 touches week 11, 16 week 13, 22 week 14. Average 110 rushing yards in that time, as well as a decent passing game. Touchdown volume hasn't been there, but if anything, that's a good thing because he's got a very nice floor, a bit like Henry that you spoke about. And he's averaged 23.8 DK points past 3 games since he's been the main guy in that backfield. And he's taken on Houston, who, in my opinion, are the worst rush defense in the league, much worse than Detroit. Giving up an average of 32.4 DK points per game to the running back position. And I think for the price difference you get between Henry and Taylor, of course you can play both, but I much prefer Taylor in this spot over Henry.
Do you know what concerns me about Taylor?
What?
It's the fact that he's still in a bit of a running back by committee. Naheem Hines is going to see 10, 15 touches, 10 to 15.
Yeah, but Taylor's still getting 20 plus touches.
Yeah, I know, but Derrick Henry's going to get 30. But I'm not knocking Jonathan Taylor. I just think I don't want to use the word trap, but would you be 100% surprised if Naheem Hines came out and got 15 to 20 touches? I really wouldn't.
I think I would now. I think you asked me 3 weeks ago. No, of course not.
I don't know. I'm just going to have a quick look and see what Hines' touches have been. I know last week was less. So last week he saw 11 touches, the week before 9, 18 against Tennessee. So it does fluctuate. So I think your minimum you're going to get is 9 with the maximum of anywhere up to 18 touches. I just have that little bit of a concern. I'm not saying that I don't think Taylor will absolutely go off because he could very well, but I always have this little slight concern about Naheem Hines in the back of my head. What do you think?
Yeah, I will say with the 18 touches, though, he got that when Taylor wasn't playing. Just a point to make. There.
Is that because he was dropped?
He had COVID. Yeah, his girlfriend had COVID or something. So
that wasn't the game where he fumbled at the start. Who was that again?
No,
Green Bay.
No.
Rich, what do you think about Taylor?
I like Taylor, to be honest. It's like the issue that I have is that involvement of Hines. That being said, it's kind of baked into his price because really you're looking. Taylor has the ability to have what we were saying is like a Derrick Henry-esque type game where he just goes ballistic. But they're kind of factoring in the fact that Hines could be an impact in his price because he's 2,300 less. Do you know what I mean? So I think they're kind of baking that in. So I quite like Taylor, and he'll probably be in quite a lot of my lineups, to be honest.
Oh yeah, he'll be in a fair few of mine as well. When I'm questioning you boys on something. It's not because I don't agree with you. I'm kind of just trying to see it from a different angle, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I mean, it's I suppose it's a little bit difficult to take a question from someone who thought that the Chargers were on the slate, but
I put the contest up. I didn't think about it. I didn't look. I haven't even looked. Didn't even properly look at the fixtures. But before I started doing everything, so give me a break. Give me a bet. Yeah, you can fuck off. Rich, who else have you got?
Jason Robinson. And Jason Robinson? James Robinson.
Jason Robinson.
Jason Robinson. I just went, I was like, in my notes, I got Jay Robinson, and my head went to rugby.
Yeah.
Jason Robinson. James Robinson.
Yeah.
Just as nifty with his feet, though. He is basically Jacksonville's offense.
Yeah.
So for me, the price is good. You Baltimore aren't this great defense against the run this season. You know, they have been able to be beaten.
They had some injuries against Cleveland as well, which should impact it.
And Jacksonville have shown that even if they're 48 million points behind, they'll still just hand the ball to Robinson because he's all they've got.
And also, he'll get a fair few dump offs from garbage Minshew.
Yeah, he's game matchup proof. Really, like no matter the game script, he's on the field.
Yeah.
So,
no, I do like him as well. Was I right in hearing was it you, Rich, who mentioned that Drew Brees is off the IR list?
Yeah, so he's been officially designated as coming off of IR.
Okay. Brilliant. That makes me feel even more confident by the fact that I'm going to say Alvin Kamara, 7,400 going up against the Chiefs. If Drew Brees is back, welcome back to 8-10 targets minimum out of the backfield, which is what we want. Last week he saw 10 targets from Taysom Hill. Drew Brees is really, really important to Alvin Kamara. So important. I suspect Taysom Hill probably plays this week. You think? Because they've said that they won't risk Brees unless he's got full kind of motion in his shoulder or whatever it was.
Yeah, I'm expecting Hill this week, personally.
Yeah. But even so, even with Hill, I still quite like Alvin Kamara this week. They're going to have to be chasing points. I think Mahomes is still going to be able to put up 30 plus on the Saints defense. Kamara is going to be a huge part of this Saints offense, especially out of the backfield. And I think with Hill, what we saw with them was they were behind in the game against the Eagles. And that is when Kamara got involved more in the passing game. I don't see the Saints going ahead against the Chiefs, if I'm honest. I think the Chiefs will get a lead and the Saints will be chasing. So I quite like Kamara, the upside kind of the targets. And you can run on this on the Chiefs. So 7,400, I quite like Alvin Kamara. Liam, what else have you got, mate?
Looking for me for high priced. I have one just below, but we'll save that for the mid-priced ones, I suppose.
Rich, have you got another high priced one, or is that it?
No, I'm good.
All right, I've got one, and it's DeAndre
What are you going
Swift.
to do?
Yeah, it's DeAndre Swift. Last week was a bit disappointing. I don't know if he was 100%, 7 for 24 against the Packers, and you should be able to run on them. 5 targets. He's seeing a very steady amount of targets. Matty Stafford missing is going to hurt him potentially, but it could also be a benefit out of the backfield with Chase Daniel. Scored the touchdown last week. Got a receiving touchdown against Washington in week 10, which was before he went out injured. 6,400. I think this could be an interesting game. I expect the Titans will get out to the lead again, and Detroit will be chasing. So I think there'll be a fair few dump offs and passing opportunity for DeAndre Swift as well. So 6,400. What do you boys think about him? Because I've kind of ummed and ahed about him today. Obviously, I've come to the conclusion that I quite like him. What are your boys' thoughts?
I don't know. I think it's this week is going to be a week for him. I think I'd rather just pay up or even pay down for a maybe more secure option at the position. I really like Smith's talent. He's one of my favourite rookies coming into the season, but yeah, concussions can linger for quite a while. And I think last week we clearly saw that. So yeah, I think it's a bit of a risky one. Maybe if he shows a week of production, then then week after that, then go for it. But yeah, a bit risky for me this week.
I think he will be low owned.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Rich, do you like him or do you hate him? Or you're a bit meh?
It's kind of meh about it. I mean, my concern is that Detroit's defense is not good, and this game will get out of hand very quickly. And it doesn't matter what the team do; they're just going to see a lot of 3 and outs, even against Tennessee's defense. That's my concern.
Chase Daniel is no Matty Stafford, but Chase Daniel can do a job. If that makes sense, it's not like that you're chucking in Mashup.
Yeah, no, I get that.
He's a bit like Marmite this week. I think people are either going to like him because they think he's going to be low owned and there's a good opportunity, or people are going to hate him because there's no Matt Stafford.
I mean, I'll be honest. The way that Detroit have to try and win this game is to try and keep Derrick Henry off the field, and that means trying to keep the ball in play as much as they can.
Yeah.
To wind the clock down. That's the way that they'll win. That's the way they'll be competitive in the game. I don't think they'll win it, but that's how they'll be.
No, they're not going to win it.
That's how they'll be competitive, isn't it? So,
yeah.
Which means you might even see Adrian Peterson. That just makes you feel sick, though.
Oh God, it's not.
You genuinely might see that, but yeah.
Let's go on to wide receivers. Rich, start us off, mate.
This is definitely not Jason Robinson. Allen Robinson.
Yeah, he's one of mine as well.
How can you not like this matchup? It's Minnesota, right? So it's optional to defend. I think the way, especially with Mitch Trubisky back in as quarterback, it's like first read Robinson, second read Robinson, third read Robinson, fourth read throw it out of bounds.
David Montgomery's the fourth.
Nah, not really. No,
Ultimate.
he's normally handed it off by then. Old commit, yeah. But this offense is basically Allen Robinson's, especially when Mitch Trubisky's in the lineup. So this matchup is too good to turn down. Yeah. Again, it doesn't have to be complicated.
I traded in a Dynasty league that I'm in the playoffs in. I traded for Allen Robinson because I wanted him for the next 2 games he's got. I straight swapped Allen Robinson for DJ Moore.
Yeah, I saw that. I quite like that.
Yeah,
I'm not really big on DJ Moore anyway. So,
yeah. Well, DJ Moore has just been riding my bench all year.
Yeah, so. As he should.
Yeah, exactly. Liam, who have you got?
AJ Brown, 7,600. The whole myth behind Henry producing means AJ Brown can't produce is just ridiculous. We saw the exact sample last week of how in a limited game script for Brown he can still produce, and quite frankly he's getting the target share to do that. Last week alone he saw a 39% target share and got 27.2 DK points. And based off what you guys are saying, it's going to be the same again this week in terms of Henry just running it down people's throats and
setting up the pass.
Yeah, and Brown's Tannehill's guy. Corey Davis might see some looks, sure, but he's a very roller coaster player in terms of having big games and just dropping off for the next couple of weeks. And Brown's a lot more secure, and Brown's one of the best receivers in the league. And I really like him this week, even at this hands price.
Well, I think the thing was what you were saying about people saying that if Derrick Henry has a big game, Brown can't have a good game, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. Last 4 games, the Titans have scored 30, 45, 35 and 31 points.
Exactly, yeah.
So I think an interesting play would be seeing if you can fit AJ Brown and Derrick Henry in your lineup. That would be...
Oh, yeah, that would be interesting, yeah.
That would be brave. I reckon there'll be some lineups like that.
Oh, definitely.
You'd have some ugly options elsewhere at that point.
You're tempting me, Rich, for us to try and sort one of those lineups out later at the end of the show. That'd be interesting. Someone make a note, and we'll do that right at the end of the show, and we'll see if what they look like. Where am I going? You've got Alan Robinson, who I quite liked. I'm going back to the well again. Where is he? Can't find him. I'm going Mike Evans. Went to him last week with stats with Tom Brady. Wasn't fantastic. 8.6 points. He's now going up against the Falcons. I don't think there's much really needs to be said about this. The Falcons defensively against the run are pretty stout. They're pretty good, surprisingly. Against the pass, they're absolute garbage. I think Brady's will throw the ball all over the place. Mike Evans is his main guy. Well, is it? I think Evans is his main guy. Do you guys think Evans is, or do you think Godwin is?
No, I think Mike is his main guy. Obviously, last week was difficult. Probably should have had a touchdown if it wasn't for some bullshit officiating.
Yep.
Yeah, I think he is, and I think there's an argument for Gronk also being one of his main guys.
He saw two targets last week, Gronk.
Yeah, but typically he has been seeing decent games, and last week he ran less routes anyway. And but we'll talk about Gronk a bit later, I suppose. But yeah, I do think Mike Evans is his main guy. Yeah, for sure.
No, I last week 8.6 points. I'm scratching it off. I think the Bucs will be able to put up a fair few points in the air against the Falcons, and I quite like Evans at 6,500 going up against my awful Falcons defense. Liam, have you got another one?
I do. Brandon Ayuk, 6,300.
Yep, he was. Yeah, I do like him as well.
Yeah, I think he's a sneaky play this week. Obviously, Deebo Samuel's injured, and pretty sure since week 7, I read somewhere that Brandon Ayuk's been the wide receiver 3 in PPR scoring, behind Adams and I forgot the other guy. It might be Metcalf.
Do you know what about Ayuk, which I really quite like this week as well? The only thing that kind of concerns me is this little sleeper notification I got that George Kittle's coming off the IR list.
Yeah, I did see that.
The only slight thing that makes me go, ooh.
I mean, he's been off the field for so long. I don't see him getting them huge workload, but famous last words. I think either way, Ayuk's going to see a 20-25% target share. Like last week, he saw 36.4. Obviously, monitor the Kittle situation, but he's a Mullins go-to guy. Mullins is just a gunslinger pretty much, and he's against Dallas, who we all know are terrible defense. 42.1 DK points given up to the wide receiver position this season. And it's just a nice opportunity, really, and I'm happy to take advantage of it at this price.
Yeah. Same mate. Rich, have you got anyone else?
I've got. There's actually kind of two, but in one.
Can I guess?
Yeah, I'm sure you can from that clue. So,
is it Cooper Kupp and Bobby Woods?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to talk about Cooper Kupp? Talk about Bobby, or just both of them.
It's kind of for the same reason. Is they're both operating out the slot. New York Jets have really suffered against guys that have operated out of the slot. And you kind of alluded to it with Goff. I think they're going to be attacking this offense through the air. Kupp maybe has more touchdown opportunity than Woods, but I'm kind of.
He's only scored. Kupp's got 3 touchdowns this year.
Yeah, but I feel like that's low for him. Yeah,
that's ridiculously low.
So that's kind of what I mean. Is because that's so low, I'm kind of expecting it to be. It'll bounce back, right? So I'm kind of expecting him to maybe score some more touchdowns this week. Yeah. Whether that'll happen or not, I'm not sure. But between the two, I've got not a lot between them, and just kind of reflected in their price as well. 7,000 for Cup and 6,800 for Woods.
Yeah, I had a look at both of them, and I had Robert Woods on my list, and the simple reason was he's 200 cheaper.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's the same as like when...
That was basically the only reason I got Woods and haven't got Cup. Is that 200 could be quite useful somewhere else.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of these where if I'm playing multiple lineups, which I'm not sure if I'll be playing like that many lineups this week, but I'm getting a mix of the two because the price difference is like negligible between the two. So
I would definitely have a lineup with Goff, Cup, and Woods in it. So I would definitely have one because I think that could be quite fruitful. But yeah, I think the Rams could do whatever they want this week. Let's be honest. It'll be Josh Reynolds' week when it'll be like 140 yards and 3 touchdowns or something stupid like that. Let's go to tight ends. I've got one high price tight end. It's the most expensive one.
Yeah,
it's Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce is matchup proof. I think you can play him against anyone. His price has been steadily going up, I believe. Anyway, what we're looking at, it was 74. It's gone up to 8,000 against this New Orleans defense, who have been really, really good against tight end recently. I think I heard a really good description today about Kelce and Mahomes, and they were saying that what Kelce does well, Kelce and Mahomes is like Adams and Rodgers. Mahomes steps out of the pocket a lot, and Travis Kelce just goes and finds that little space where no one else is, and he throws in the ball, and he always finds the gaps. So he's seen in the last 4 games, he's seen 8 receptions, 10 targets, 8 targets, 12 targets, 10 targets, 3 touchdowns in the last 4 games. I very, very, very rarely want to pay up for a tight end, especially at 8,000. But it's just so tempting. Is it just me?
I don't want to do it because there's other options I want to spend up for.
Yeah,
that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
It is. You get to a point. If I just have a quick look, so you've got Kelce at 8,000. Let's mix him. So you've either got Kelce and Kelce and Gus Edwards, which comes to 12,4, or Allen Robinson and T.Y. Hilton. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah,
probably the same.
Yeah.
But they're probably going to score around the same amount of points.
No, because Hilton's going to go absolutely ham.
Yeah, I think the latter actually
scorches. You don't think Gus Edwards is going to go ham against fucking Jacksonville?
No,
really?
It's J.K. Dobbins' week.
You want to bet?
Yeah, happy day. Yeah, what are we saying?
Gus Edwards scores more points than J.K. Dobbins does. DK points.
Yeah, so I'll take Dobbins. You take Edwards.
Yeah, damn right. I'm going to have a look now. I just want to see. So Dobbins in the last couple of weeks has scored 18, 13, 13, and Edwards has scored 7, 13, 18. So, yeah, I think it's fairly even. I think it's a Gus. I'm not saying Dobbins isn't going to do well either, but I just think Gus Edwards should have a very good game. So yeah, let's just do that. We'll take that. We'll do a bit on that. Where were we? Rich, go tight end.
Whereas Kelce or Andrews is the only other one that I'd consider in the same game, right? So,
and Andrews just goes on from the Mahomes, the Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I am with it. I mean, to be honest, I'm not going to spend up on either of them this week because there's other guys I want to spend up on. So
it's a lot of money, isn't it? A tight end.
Yeah, because like even with Andrews, like he's not having like the kind of season that he did last season. So I'd rather, I'm taking a punt, which I feel like I am with Mark Andrews. I'd rather spend less at the position and take an equal amount of risk?
Here's a question, which is interesting, which I've just thought about, obviously, price-wise. He's not on here, is he? Bollocks. Just in general. So Devontae Adams is usually what, 9,500? Yeah, and
Yeah,
he's
around
scoring
that, yeah.
what, 30 to 35 points. Yeah, and Travis Kelce in this slate is 8,000, and he's scoring 30 odd points. If they were on the same slate, you guys are going to pick Devontae Adams every time, aren't you? At 9.5 over Kelce at 8. Even though they're scoring, why though? Even though they're scoring similar points.
Touchdown upside. Like touchdown upside. Like Adams could score 2-3 touchdowns in a game, and I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised if Kelce scored 2 touchdowns in a game.
But if Kelce scores 2 touchdowns in a game, he's not going to have the yardage show that Adams is going to get.
But Adams is more expensive. So what I'm trying to say is if Adams gets 35 points and Kelce gets 30 and there's 1,500 point in the difference, for me, I'd rather go Kelce and find 1,500 somewhere else. I think it's going to get more than 5 points difference.
It's arguably the same argument as Henry and Taylor, isn't it? It is. It generally is.
Yeah.
So yeah, in that case, Jamie, should we go for Taylor over Henry this week?
I should do.
Just saying.
Oh, you've absolutely done him there, Liam. Well done. Well played.
This is
Not really.
It's exactly the same argument, to be honest.
Touches. It's a touch thing as well. Taylor might sort of see 20 touches.
Yeah, and so might Henry if he gets pulled.
Henry's not seen. Do you want to bet that Henry sees 20 touches, under or over 20 touches?
No, obviously not.
Exactly. Henry's going to see nearer 30 touches than 20. I think, come on, boys. Really? Liam, who's your tight end?
Gronkowski. 4,200. Yes, he ran less routes last week, only 14. Yes, he only had 2 targets. But the game should win against him, quite frankly. And it's a much better one this week. The high points total for Tampa, I think it's like near 30, and the game total is 50.5. So it's typically a recipe for tight ends. And tight ends need this type of volume to achieve high points totals. And the Falcons are a poor red zone team in general, but especially against tight ends. 19 is going to position this season, which is tied for 3rd highest in the league. And quite frankly, he's due. 2 targets last week. He won't see that next week, or this week, sorry. And yeah, he's straight in my lineups, quite frankly.
Cool. Anyone else going on? Or was that it?
That's it.
I quite like Gronk. 100% of the receptions last week were touchdowns, so that's all you need to know. Facts.
Defense. Rich.
Rams.
Yeah. Liam, is the Rams yours?
It's one of them. Yeah.
Is it a really, really talented defense? You know, you've got Aaron Donald, who just seems like he's clocking up sacks for fun, along with the rest of that defensive line. You've got Jalen Ramsey, who's locking down receivers. Not that he won't really have to do too much against the Jets.
Perriman, he's going to have a tough job locking him down.
Yeah, if you want. And we've seen the Jets' offense is not good either. So the Jets are one to target, and the Rams are one of the best defenses in the league. So it's that Venn diagram thing of the two of them. It's a perfect bit in the middle. So,
Liam, who's yours?
I do like Baltimore as well. As Jay mentioned, Garbage Minshew at QB, so don't expect too much from this offense. Yes, Robinson might run for a few yards, but good luck getting a touchdown against these lot. They were pretty poor against Cleveland, to be honest. I expect a better performance from this week.
They had a couple of injuries, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And I suspect a bit of a bounce-back performance, quite frankly.
And the Ravens are 3,800 playing Jacksonville at home. Cool. Shall we get onto the mid to low price and shoot through these?
Yeah.
Liam, start us off, mate.
Mitch Trubisky, 5,500. Yeah, I was worried about his upside last week just purely because of he was throwing enough touchdowns for me, but he kind of proved me wrong. 3 for 3 last week, got 25 DK points.
Yep.
And as you mentioned with Allen Robinson, this Minnesota defense is terrible. And he's taken on Dantzler, who's given up I think it's 20 PPR points a game to whoever he's defending. And I'm not this Minnesota is terrible, and I'm expecting Mitch Trubisky to take advantage of him again. And it's a nice stacking option as well with Allen Robinson. So yeah, I like him a lot.
Yeah, I like Trubisky. I'm always still going to call him. Like, obviously we've got garbage Minshew, and it's Mitch Trubisky. That's what I've always called him. He's not very good. He isn't a very good quarterback, but he's got a really pretty juicy matchup this week. I think that Minnesota will score points, put points up on Chicago, because their defense has kind of felt like it kind of, up until the Houston game, I just got the feeling that they were mailing it in a little bit, kind of just like, for fuck's sake, offense, do something. So yeah, I quite like Trubisky at 5,500 going against the Vikings. Rich, do you like Trubisky? Is he one of yours?
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing of like, if I'm buying into Robinson, which I am, then I feel like I need to kind of buy into Trubisky.
Yeah.
As a result. So
cool. Have you got anyone else, Rich?
Yeah. Philip Rivers, 5,900.
La 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 la. There we go.
Spoiler alert: we're going to talk about T.Y. Hilton in the wide receiver category, but
really,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
This run first offense seems quite pass heavy, also. So Rivers seems like he's kind of found his groove towards the end of the season. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see his stats put up right now. Last week was his worst performance, where he scored just under 18 points, DK points. This Houston defense wasn't that good, and then it lost its most talented cornerback. So I feel like this is going to be another game where he kind of has a really good performance. So
yeah. I like it. Lim, have you got anybody else?
No, not for QB, no.
Okay. I've got one.
Okay.
Is it Jalen Hurts?
No,
right?
I was literally about to say it's quite interesting that neither of us have mentioned Jalen Hurts.
I have Jalen Hurts on my list.
Do you want to talk about Jalen Hurts before I decide if I want to talk about this other guy?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So he seemed like he gave the Eagles like the spark that they needed on offense. I don't know if it's just the fact that, I think we spoke about it, Jamie, that it's very difficult for teams to defend against quarterbacks who don't really have tape on. And that might have been part of it. It might also be that just, how like in football over here, changing manager brings a change of performances. It might have just been that. But he looked good. He looked quite composed, which, considering the pressure that the Saints had brought on him, I thought was really good from a rookie who was, it's still the same poor offensive line that was behind. But he somehow managed to deal with that pressure and actually make it almost work to his advantage, because he then just run rather than staying in the pocket and get sacked. So
the things I got from the Saints game was, the Saints defended him really badly. They just left wide open lanes for him to run it, wide open. Secondly, yes, you mentioned the Eagles' O-line is still as shit as it was when Wentz was behind it. The difference being is he's got the legs to get out of the way and move around it, which helped. I think
the thing that worries me is that it's now Arizona who are just, we saw what they did against the Giants last week. Like, that pressure was consistent.
Yeah.
So this will be an interesting kind of, like, I don't want to say baptism of fire, because that seems like too strong. But I feel like this week now, if he performs again, then I feel like I almost have to partially admit that maybe I was slightly off with thinking that Hurts was not going to be a good NFL quarterback. Like, he might just be serviceable.
I think with Hurts, the first. Did you see his touchdown pass?
To Alshon.
Did you see how beautifully underthrown it was? It was a bad throw, and he got lucky on that. His rushing. If you're playing Jalen Hurts, you are playing him for his rushing upside. That is it for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not looking at anything past his stats. If he wants to rush for 18 attempts again, brilliant, because that's the only reason I'm going to play him. For me, I think, as you said, it's this Arizona pressure. They've got a game on him now.
That's true.
So it'll be interesting to see. I don't think he's the long-term option for them personally, but fuck knows. I don't even think obviously the Eagles don't know either. I'd quite like Carson Wentz and think Carson Wentz, if he's traded, will be traded to the Indianapolis Colts, because it seems like Wentz misses Frank Reich.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Bear with me on this one.
I feel like I'm going to throw up already.
Yeah.
You've not even said it.
Yeah.
It's just the way when you say "bear with me."
Okay, I'm just going to say I've now scrolled down. If you're not watching on the YouTube, I'm at 5,100 and I still haven't hit him.
Oh, right. Well, okay.
Oh,
I consider.
It's Dwayne Haskins. If you're listening to the podcast, it's Dwayne Haskins. If Alex Smith isn't going to play, but the reports are that he thinks there's a chance he might. The only reason, because it's Seattle. It's the only reason, and he's 5,000, and he can throw. He can throw 3 interceptions for that's 3 points I lose. He played all. If you look at the start of the season, when he started the first 3 games against Philadelphia, not brilliant, 12 points. 12 points against Arizona, then 13, and then 21 against Baltimore. I think they're going to have to pass the ball a lot. I don't think you.
Okay, so let's just all right. I don't want to poo-poo this too much, right? Because it's 5,000, right? But let's unpick those games. So week 1 was against Philadelphia. We know they're a poor defense. Week 2 against Arizona. They can be had, but they're relatively solid, and he got 12 points. Cleveland secondary has been a joke all season. 13 points.
What was it like at the start of the season, though? I'm just saying.
It was still not great.
I can't remember.
It was. I still don't think it was great.
And then Baltimore.
And then Baltimore, where he actually seemed like he's had his best performance.
And
Baltimore's secondary then was good then. So you're talking.
It's potluck.
He's had. Yeah, and
It's potluck. It's not one that you're going to be confident on. But if you want a real contrarian play, him and someone like chucking in McLaurin or
I mean his ownership will be low.
Less than 1%, 100%.
Yeah,
if he plays, I will have a lineup with him.
I will not have a single lineup
because I know if he has a good game, no one else is going to benefit apart from me.
I will not have a single lineup with him this week.
I know, but hold on, you love doing lineups that are just shooting for the stars. So he can bang you 25 points.
There's shooting for the stars, Jamie, and then there's just pure stupidity, mate.
No, I think if he plays, he could surprise a few. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying.
I mean, he could surprise me by not throwing 15 interceptions. I mean,
he's literally had one game where he's thrown interceptions this year in the 4 that he played.
And who was that against?
That was 3 against Cleveland, but he threw none against Baltimore, none against Patrick Peterson and the Arizona Cardinals, and none against Darius Slay and the Philadelphia Eagles. So I'm just saying, at 5,000, I don't want him to play. I'd much prefer Alex Smith to play, but at 5,000, I'm probably against Seattle, who are fucking trash defensively.
So you got him at 5,000 or Rivers at 5,900. You're talking 900. It's what would you need for that? Like 4 points,
or even Trubisky at 5.5.
5.5, yeah.
Oh, don't get me wrong. If I'm much prefer to shoot Trubisky in my lineup, but I just think if I'm gonna, I sometimes like to put a lineup in a couple of contests with players that I think that no one is going to fucking pick, and you probably have about 6,000 left at the end of it, just to see. You never know, you're going to get lucky.
I'd rather have the Falcons' best QB, Russell Gage, in my lineup.
That's interesting. Have you not got him in your lineup this week?
I don't know if I actually do, but yeah. No, I don't. But yeah, I'd rather have him. So.
Should we stop talking about?
Yeah, that's enough conversation about Dwayne Haskins.
Back to Wayne. My cat trying to do. Let's go on to running backs. Liam, start us off with the running back.
Yeah, mentioned him already. J.K. Dobbins, 5,900. Like Taylor, the past 2 weeks he's seen taken over his bottle backfield, in my opinion. Double-digit carries in all 3 of those games and got a touchdown in each of them. I just feel it's a big game brewing for Dobbins, and there's not a better game to do that against Jacksonville. As we mentioned, they're the 30th rush defense in the league. And we saw Derrick Henry just completely dominate them. And I expect in the Baltimore rush game to do the same, quite frankly.
Cool. Rich, who have you got?
We mentioned it when we were talking about Taylor, so I'll just keep it pretty short. But Naheem Hines, you know, when we were talking about his potential touches, like you could see him getting goal line carries and stealing a couple of annoying touchdowns if you decide to go for Taylor. So he's certainly worth consideration at 5,400.
Yeah, lovely. I will go with
one of mine as well.
Jeff Wilson Jr. for the San Francisco 49ers, 5,100, going against Dallas, who you can run on. If Mostert's out, he's going to be the main guy. And the last time he was the main guy, it was against New England in week 7, 17 for 112 and 3 touchdowns, 35 points. I think they've anticipated the fact that Mostert might be out and price him at 5,100. But yeah, I really, really like him this week. San Francisco are a running team. There's thoughts that they're potentially considering dropping Nick Mullins. So if they don't, what's the best thing you can do to protect your quarterback? Run the ball. Yeah, 5,100, Jeff Wilson. You like to as well, Liam?
Yeah, I've been on him for quite a few weeks and all across my content. And I think he's just a bit like Dobbins. It's a big game waiting to happen. He's getting all the red zone carries practically. He should have had 2 touchdowns against Buffalo the other week.
Yeah.
I think this week he's got a great chance of doing well.
Yeah. Rich, what about you?
Yeah, I like him, but Washington. If DeAndre Washington.
Really?
I'm not a fan of this pick.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, neither am I.
I mean, I don't really love it. But it's just the price. You're talking, he's so cheap, 4,700. I mean, he got touches again last week against Kansas City, which is kind of what you want. He didn't have great production.
2.7 yards a carry.
I'm talking myself out of this. Even now, I go through it. I'm like, this is awful. But I just feel like if I'm playing, I'm going to have a lot. I will have at least one lineup in a GBP with Washington. That's all. I
Interesting.
I'll say with the Miami offense. Miami offense is basically riddled with injuries now. So there's no Gesicki potentially for the whole season. There's going to be no Parker by the sounds of it. So you're essentially relying on Lynn Bowden, Washington, and Durham Smythe against the Patriots.
Patrick Laird, mate.
So what you're saying is the win is in the bag?
Yeah.
Sweet.
RB1 confirms. Yeah.
That's the other one for me. I'll only quickly chat about him because we talked about him when we talked previously. Gus Edwards for me, 4,400. Baltimore going up against Jacksonville. He's 2 touchdowns last week against Cleveland. He's seen 7 rushing attempts in week 14 against Cleveland, 7 against Dallas, 9 against Pittsburgh. He's just really, really, I can't think of the word I'm looking for here. He makes the most of the touches he gets.
The vulture, that's what he is.
He's a fucking good running back. That's what he is.
Yeah.
I think, Rich, you said about the price with Washington. For me, it's the price on Gus Edwards at 4,400 against Jacksonville. We saw literally nothing of Mark Ingram. So it's fantastic that they've gone back from a running back committee of 3 to now you've got a running back committee of 2. And the fact that they're going to be missing, is it Duvernay and Marquise Brown, potentially because they're on the COVID list. I just think they're going to run the ball all over the place. I think we all agree that, don't we?
Yeah.
So yeah, 4,400, Gus Edwards. Liam, anybody else?
No, said my garbage Jeff Wilson. You talked about him, so yeah.
Rich?
I'm good.
I'm good as well, mate. I'm good. Wide receivers, Liam, starts off, mate.
Perhaps a pretty obvious one, T.Y. Hilton, 5,500. I know me and Rich talked about pre-recording.
Yeah.
I'll go through some numbers. So the 17 games that Hilton's faced Houston, he's averaged 19 PPR points. If you want to relate that to DK, since 2016, Hilton's had 10 games against Houston and averaged 24.87 DK points a game. So that's obviously pretty ridiculous. And obviously that includes the Week 13 performance, as you can see if you're watching on YouTube, where he had 28 DK points. So yeah, I think just play him, to be honest. I think that's the advice there.
Yeah, I think he's going to be quite chalk this week. But it's still not going to stop me playing him.
Exactly, yeah.
No. Rich, have you got anything to add to T.Y. Hilton? Apart from play him.
I was going to try and think of a really good pun, but I couldn't think of it in time, so no.
Disappointing.
The Hilton Hotel, you're saying that, Rich, this weekend, yeah?
I was going to say like one night in Paris or something like that, I don't know.
Yeah. Rich, who have you got, mate? Who have you got?
I'm going to mention the quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons.
I'll just take him off my list then, so you boys can chat. Yep.
Russell Gage.
Yep.
For those who didn't see his pass.
The pass was lovely, but I tell you what, the catch by Ridley over his shoulder was nice.
Yeah. That was pretty decent. For me, it's just a case of what do I think the outlook is on Julio.
He's not playing.
I don't think he's going to play.
No, I
there's
don't think
no
we
need
can see the rest of the season.
Yeah, they've got nothing to play for, right? So then we're talking that there's targets available in this offense, and we've seen that Gage at the start of the season, he was doing really well with the targets that he was given, and I think we'll kind of see a return to that against Tampa, as I think they're going to try and shut down Ridley.
You can pass on this defense. You can pass on Tampa.
You can, but I think you can pass on them, but the issue is that they'll bring pressure.
It's having enough time.
The Falcons do not have a good offensive line, which probably will be built into Russell Gage's passing upside, as we saw.
I would not be surprised if we saw something similar like that again, some kind of quick play with him. So yeah, 4,700 Russell Gage going up against the Bucks. I do quite like him as well, mate. I've got one of your boys, Liam.
Yeah, I have him on my list as well. Yeah.
Yeah, he's on my list.
3,600 going against New England. Just remind us, Liam, who have you got healthy at running back or wide receiver?
So I'm pretty sure Washington, one of Rich's favourite picks this week, is healthy.
Yep.
We've got Darren Smythe at tight end, Adam Shaheen at tight end, Bowden, Matt Collins, wide receiver one there, and obviously Bowden.
Yeah, 9 targets last week, 7 receptions, 82 yards. 15 points. He's 3,600. I think the price is just screaming.
Is it really weird to think that he might actually get the coverage from Gilmore? I'm not even joking.
Oh, yes, it's a good chance, yeah.
Oh my God, you really think? You think that?
Who's going to cover them?
Matt Collins.
Matt Collins. He's a bigger receiver. That's the only reason I think about his size.
I mean, they might just change it halfway through the game. Just be like, nah, turns out Lynn Bowden's actually talented. Let's get him instead.
The thing with...
They might just leave both receivers open and just go, screw it.
Well, Belichick against rookie QBs, this could be a bit of a massacre.
Yeah, he's 21-5, isn't he?
Herbert. Yeah,
he's 21.
Like that.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that Bowden or Bowden, however you want to pronounce it, gets a few rushing attempts as well. He's a shifty character. But yeah, 3,600. I think the price is really nice. And the fact they've got basically no one else fit. Has anyone else got anybody else?
I do have one. The Kittle news has kind of worried me a little bit, but I do still like Richie James this week.
I looked at Richie James. I thought about him and then decided against him.
Yeah, I think my main attraction to Richie James is that he's probably going to see a 20-25% target share this week.
Over Kendrick Bourne?
Isn't Bourne more of a slot guy, though?
I don't know. Bourne saw 7 targets last week, 6 the week before, 5, and then 5.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that Bourne's wide receiver 2, but I think Richie James is going to be the wide receiver 3, the second guy on the outside, against a defence who are, I don't have the numbers, but I'm pretty sure are god-awful against deep passes. And Richie James is a deep target. We saw that in week 9 when there was no Ayuk, no Samuel. So if you want to punt, I don't mind Richie James. Obviously, keep an eye on the Kittle situation because that could be massive. But yeah, for now, I think he's a nice play.
Cool. You got anyone else, Rich?
I've actually got 2, and they're both as disgusting as each other.
Are they for the same team?
No.
Okay. Who are they?
One is Alshon Jeffrey.
Wow.
Okay, yeah, well.
3,400.
He's cheap.
Both of these is just because of the price. Yeah. So 3,400. He returned against the Saints, and similar to Gronk, all of the passes that he caught were touchdowns.
You mean the one?
Just listen to what I'm saying. All of the passes that he caught were touchdowns. It'd be interesting to see if he gets primary coverage here against Arizona, because there's an argument it could be Rager and not Jeffrey, which I think would benefit Jeffrey. If the team is able to move the ball, then he's an obvious red zone target, and you don't actually need that much from him to hit value. So
that's fair, mate. Who's your second one?
Equally as disgusting and cheaper, Des Bryant.
Oh,
no.
3,000.
Oh, is he out? Is that? That's not right.
He just got activated. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Right.
Yeah. So this one is like properly disgusting because he's not done anything yet.
I think this makes me vomit more than the Dwayne Haskins one.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, even this is like 2,000 cheaper.
Yeah, but it really doesn't make any difference.
Kind of does. This would be one of those kind of pump plays. If you were talking, if we want to get Henry and Brown in a lineup, and I'm wanting like an absolute punt, then Des Bryant. I mean, if he catches like a touchdown, then which he could do because he's a big body receiver, then that's already 2 times value. It's the price that makes it. Look. I said to you before, I'm disgusted with both of these. The price on them and the fact that they're both big-bodied receivers, so they have red zone upside. That's what makes it appealing to me.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm not saying stick them in your lineups like, they're absolute sets, but that's
Can I
that's
say?
kind of where
Can I
I am.
say? We're gonna try and speed this up a little bit. I'm just gonna mention one, and you boys are gonna tell me out of 1 to 10 how you feel. And this is dependent on a certain player being out. Brandon Cooks is out this week. Chad Hansen, 4,200 going up against Indy. Against Indy, week 13, he got 18 points. And last week against Chicago, he got 12.6 points. 1 to 10 out of 10. 10 being the best, more confident in that, and 1 being the least. Rich or Liam? Go on, Liam.
6. I'll say 6.
Yeah, Rich.
Yeah, I feel about the same.
Yeah, I'm at 6-7. I prefer him over Kuti. I think last 2 weeks, seven targets both weeks. I think Deshaun Watson quite likes him. So yeah, 4,200. I think he's a good shot in the dark. Let's quickly run through tight ends, shall we? Liam, hit us with a tight end. Or in fact,
yes.
You know what? I'm going to do this. Liam, tell me the tight ends that you've got. Rich, you tell me yours, and I will say what mine are, and then we can just quickly discuss them.
Okay, so my 2 are Komet and Gerald Everett.
Rich?
I've got John Reed and Komet.
Okay. I've got Komet and Irv Smith. Okay. So Cole Komet he seems to be taking over the main tight end role. It's a tight end 1 in Chicago, 7 targets last 2 weeks. A touchdown in week 13 against Detroit. He's going up against Minnesota. He's playing well. I think at 3,000 the price is fair. Anyone else got anything to add?
Yeah, it's just too cheap. Just play him.
yeah, pretty much. Rich?
Nope, that's
good.
All good.
Okay. Who's your other guy, Liam?
Everett. For me, coin flips in him and Higbee. Both run the same amount of routes. And it's just a gut call. Jets give it the most touchdowns to tight ends at 12. So I'll take a punt on Everett over Higbee, who's 700 more than him.
Cool. Rich, your guy, Jordan Reed, was it?
Yeah, I feel like he's going to have a blowout game at some point, and even if Kittle returns, John Reed's fit, and we've seen what he can do. So that is a punt.
Yeah. And his price is 3,200 going up against the Cowboys. Mine is Irv Smith. For Minnesota going up against Chicago. Chicago are vulnerable against tight ends. I believe Kyle Rudolph is not practicing still. So I think last week he's 4 targets, 63 yards, 4 targets, 4 receptions, 60 yards and a touchdown against Tampa Bay. At 3,600, I don't mind the price going up against Chicago, especially the fact that they're just not very good against tight ends. And with no Kyle Rudolph, I think Irv Smith will be a good part of this offense. So, yeah. Let's go defense, shall we? Rich, just shoot us with a defense.
Just got 1, Cardinals.
Yep. Liam?
2 for me, New England and Washington.
I've got the Patriots and Seahawks. Rich, go tell us why the Cardinals quickly.
The pressure they were able to bring last week, and as I said when I was mentioning Jalen Hurts, they're going to continue bringing pressure, and we could see Hurts was just a flash in the pan last week, and he comes back to earth this week.
Yeah, 2,900. It's not a bad price. Liam, tell us your other one apart from the Pats. Who was it again?
Washington. Just targeting Seattle like I usually do. Wilson gets sacked 3 times a game and throws just under 90 a game. Washington get themselves 3 sacks a game and same INT numbers. It's going to be a high scoring game in my opinion, and I think Washington can take advantage of that.
2,600. My one is the Seahawks on the other side of the ball. They're sending pressure all the time. They're getting a fair amount of sacks. I think they've got the most amount of sacks since week 9 or something like that. I think something. I think they were one of my plays last week as well. Again, they're kind of just they're sending the pressure to try and protect their defensive backs, who are not very good at the moment. Let's put it that way. 3,100 going against Washington. I don't think it matters if you've got Dwayne Haskins back there or Alex Smith, I think they're going to see a fair few sacks this week. And Liam, we had the Pats. Tell me why the Patriots.
Well, Miami down to bare bones on offense. Belichick's 21-5 against rookie QBs, and Tibbetts probably going to start. Week 13 is a good example of what will happen, I think, in my opinion. So just play him.
Yeah, I literally, you just said everything that I was thinking with regards to the Pats. This is a rookie QB. Belichick loves going up against them, so it could be another bloodbath. But Tua has looked fairly impressive these since he started. So yeah, boys, that's the end. That's the end of the high and the mid to low value plays that we like this week. Should we quickly get on to our player of the week?
Yeah,
Liam, start us with your player of the week, buddy.
Jonathan Taylor, 7,200.
Like it. Rich?
I thought you were going to steal mine. T.Y. Hilton.
That's the second option.
Yeah, 5,500 against the Texans. I've got T.Y. Hilton is my backup option for the simple reason that my player of the week is Jeff Wilson Jr., 5,100 going up against Cowboys. And that is only if Mostert doesn't play. It's huge. If Mostert doesn't play, then I'm taking Wilson mostly out. If Mostert does play, I'm not going to be playing a huge amount of Jeff Wilson. But yeah, I quite like Jeff Wilson this week. If no Mostert, I was saying to you, let's go on a bust of the week. I was saying to you boys, I was struggling this week on the bust of the week. Liam, you said you had one. Who is it?
It's Cam Akers, 6,600, I believe. I just feel Malcolm Brown was going to be a vulture in the red zone and take all the TDs from him. And as you mentioned regarding the passing of Goff and things like that, I don't think Akers is going to have a good match as people reckon he will. So I think he's too high priced in my opinion.
Cool. Rich, have you got one?
I said pre-record Brandon Cooks because he's still not ruled out. If he plays, then I don't see him doing that well against the Colts. And if he doesn't, then I've smashed it.
I haven't got a bust of the week. I was generally looking and I'm struggling. So yeah, I'm copping out on not having a bust of the week this week. Right, boys, let's get on to stacks this week. Rich, starts with a stack.
Rivers Hilton, which is 11,400. Then you can either add Jonathan Taylor or Hines if you're feeling particularly confident. The Taylor one would bring it up to 18,600 and Hines would be 16,800.
Nice. Liam, who have you got?
Mitch Trubisky and Allen Robinson.
Just don't forget adding Cole Kmet as well.
Yeah, if you're feeling like it a lot, then go for that. Yeah, sure.
That's what I've got. Trubisky and Robinson at 12. That comes to 12.6. If you add Kmet, it's 15.6. I really like that this week. Rich, have you got a second one?
No, I've only got that one.
Liam, you got a second one?
No, not a confident one, no.
Okay, I'm just going to throw this one out there. Goff and Woods, or Goff and Cup, or Goff, Woods and Cup.
Yeah, it's the Goff bit of that that makes me nervous. But yeah.
But for Cup and Woods to score points, Goff's going to have to score points.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
Yeah. I didn't know if you.
I understand the basics of the game.
Are you sure? I'm
That's
not,
good to know.
I'm not certain that you knew. I just thought I needed to maybe just let you know.
Yeah.
But
Chargers are on this slate, right?
Yes. So are the Giants.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and the Raiders.
Look at the Bengals.
And the Steelers. Okay, right. We've done our stacks. Let's get on to our team, shall we? This is what everyone listens for anyway. They fast forward all the way through and just get to see how bad our teams are. But last week, it was quite close, boys. I managed to get one on the board last week. Just.
You notice how you only talk about the results if you've won?
Do I ever stop you talking about the results?
No, it's because I don't really, I
Because you
win
don't
to me.
Oh, if you're not watching, Rich's face is shocked, disappointed, hurt.
I'm going on strike.
I'm ready for divorce papers to be sent in the post tomorrow. Right, same format as we normally do. Let's go each QB, each running back, then so and so. So we'll say our teams afterwards. So, Rich, do us the honour of starting with your quarterback for this week.
Rivers.
Philip Rivers. What's his price?
5,900.
Liam, who's yours?
Taysom Hill, 6K. Is that correct? 6K?
Oh,
Yeah.
ooh, interesting. Okay. I've got Mitch Trashbisky, 5,500. Going up against the Vikings. Rich, your running back one, please.
Jonathan Taylor. I know I spoke up Derrick Henry earlier, but it's just too pricey. So Jonathan Taylor.
Liam?
Jonathan Taylor.
Well, after some switch watching around in my lineup, I've got Jonathan Taylor, 7,200. Going up against Houston. Your running back two, please, Rich.
J.K. Dobbins.
Liam?
J.K. Dobbins.
I've got my player of the week, Jeff Wilson, 5,100. Going up against the Cowboys. Your wide receiver one, please, Rich.
Allen Robinson.
Liam?
Robert Woods.
I've got Allen Robinson, 7,400. Going up against the Vikings. Rich, your wide receiver two.
Robert Woods.
Liam?
Terry McLaurin.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I've got T.Y. Hilton, 5,500. Your wide receiver three, please, Rich.
T.Y. Hilton.
Liam, can I guess who your wide receiver three is?
You can, but you probably guess wrong. Brandon Ayuk, 6,300.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, he's got Hilton in the flex.
Yeah, he's so got Hilton in the flex. My wide receiver three is Lynn Bowden, 3,600, going up against the Patriots. Your tight end, please, Rich.
Jordan Reed, 3,200.
Liam?
Gerald Everett, 3,100.
I've got Irv Smith at 3,600. What was interesting is that we all liked Cole Kmet and none of us put him in. None of us put him in our lineups. Who is your flex, please, Rich?
Wilson.
Jeff Wilson. Liam? T.Y. Hilton?
Wilson.
Have you not put T.Y. Hilton in your bloody lineup?
No, I'm saving him for other lineups.
Interesting. Jeff Wilson, though. He's in all three of our lineups. Brilliant. I was hoping he wouldn't be in any of yours. My flex is Alvin Kamara, 7,400, going up against the Chiefs. My defense is the Rams, 4,500. Rich?
I'm in Cardinals, 29.
Liam?
Patriots, 3K.
Rich, run us through your team quickly, please, buddy.
Rivers, Taylor, Dobbins, Robinson, Woods, Hilton, John Reed in my tight end, and Wilson in my flex with the Cardinals DST.
Liam, run us through yours, please, buddy.
Taysom Hill QB, running backs Taylor and Dobbins, wide receivers Woods, McLaurin, Ayuk, tight end Everett, flex Jeff Wilson, defense Patriots.
And mine is Mitch Trubisky, Jonathan Taylor, Jeff Wilson, Allen Robinson, T.Y. Hilton, Lynn Bowden, Irv Smith, Alvin Kamara, and the LA Rams defense. I almost called them the St. Louis Rams, but the LA Rams. So we've a few players in similar lineups in each of our lineups. So I think you boys have both got Woods, and I think we've got Robinson, and we've all got Taylor, and we've all got Jeff Wilson. So yeah, it'll be interesting this week. Let's see if you boys can beat me. I suspect you will. I think I'm coming last, seeing as my team is a bit hodgepodge at the end. Down to my fault, obviously. We talked about fitting a lineup with Derrick Henry, AJ Brown, and Tannehill in there. Liam, Have you got it in front of you?
I do. Yeah, I do.
So we've sat down over the space of about 2 minutes and found the team that you can fit Henry, Brown, and Tannehill in this week. Reel it off for us, Liam.
You won't find a better lineup optimizer than ours. 2 minutes of
No,
time
exactly.
doing
We
this.
are the lineup optimizers.
So obviously Tannehill QB, Henry RB. Jeff Wilson is the second RB. Wide receivers are, of course, AJ Brown, Lynn Bowden Jr., and the infamous T.Y. Hilton. Tight end Jordan Akins. The flex is Jonathan Taylor. And we've gone all the way down on defense to play the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, we wanted Jonathan Taylor, so we had to be the bottom of the barrel defense wise. So yeah, and what and that was using all 50,000, was it?
It was, yeah, bang on, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to do a lineup, put that lineup in a couple of cheapy little kind of competitions and contests and see how it does. You never know, we might get lucky.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, yeah.
Rich looks about as interested as me watching.
I'm just looking back here. I'm just like, okay, I could see it like in a way it would work out, but I feel pretty sick.
Because Derrick Henry's in there, that's why it's just not going to work with Derrick Henry in there.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it?
How much Derrick Henry is there going to be in seasonal DFS? What do you think his ownership's going to be this week?
What, across both contests? Sorry.
Yeah. I think last week was near on 50%.
Was it really? Wow.
I feel like it'll be round about that mark again.
I think it'll be 60.
Wow.
I don't think it'll be high because of the price. That's the thing.
Last week, the common running back combo was Derrick Henry and David Montgomery. Do we think this week's going to be Derrick Henry and Jonathan Taylor? I think Taylor's going to be super, super owned.
I mean, yeah, but looking at our lineup there, I don't know how people will comfortable playing that in cash, though. I'm not too sure. I don't know. Obviously, I won't be doing that personally, spoiler alert. But yeah, I think it could be fairly common, depending on what you can do with your lineups.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'll be quite looking forward to this week. It's not the nicest of slates, in my opinion, anyway. Rich, my dear man, where can we find you?
You can find me at RichKingFF or KShancy_sports.
And your website, as I ask every week?
KingFantasySports.com.
Leah, where can we find you?
So at Dolphin Abroad on Twitter.
And your website?
The Dolphin Abroad at dolphinabroadwordpress.com.
Cool. You can find me on Twitter at Jamie_Byram KM, and you can find Season on DFS at Season on DFS, and the website is www.seasonondfs.com. Anyone who has got to the end of this podcast or video, I applaud you. It hasn't been a short one. We don't do short videos. We don't do short podcasts because we get into some depth rather than just pick one player at each position. Do me a favour. Do us a favour. Go and like the video. Go and sub on YouTube. Go and subscribe on your podcast app, whether it be Apple Music, Google Podcasts, or your podcast apps like, I don't know, someone listen to a podcast app. What do you boys use?
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts.
Podcast Addict, I use.
Okay.
And leave us a review on Apple iTunes. Just make sure it has those 5 stars, and then you can write whatever you want underneath it. Anything, I don't care. Just getting a 5-star review helps. I'm not begging. I'm just asking very nicely.
It's like begging.
Someone's got to do it. Right, boys. I'll love you and leave you. Enjoy the rest of the week and enjoy the Saturday games this week. And the Thursday game. Thursday game should be a good one, shouldn't it?
Yeah, hopefully. 2 bad defenses, so yeah.
Let's see if Justin Herbert has a bounce back game this week.
Well, but he hopes so.